Good morning. You're listening to WTIM, your information station. It's time now for your expanded local news. A brand new event in Christian County looks to bring the community together through religion and song. It's called the Rhythm of Community Unity. The event is scheduled for Saturday, June 14th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Chautauqua Building at Manners Park in Taylorville. Church bands and individual singers will be on hand to perform, and the organizers hope to grow the event year over year. Kimberly Brune is part of the organizing team and says this form of cooperation between local churches is part of what inspired the event.
I would love to see all the area churches working together for the common good of the community. This is a start. I actually think that it's a God, I don't know what word I want there, but I think God put me on this, and our outreach ministry team at Davis Memorial Christian Church kind of got it started, and we've got Taylorville Christian Church working with us as well. And this all started from Celebrate Recovery because they didn't think that we would get area churches to come together to do meals. And we've got 4 or 5 of them that come on a regular basis. And it's just awesome to see the churches together and working together, united as one, because that's what it's all about.
Brune hopes to attract greater interest from performers in future years. She sees this year's event as an opportunity to show them what they can be a part of.
I'd like to get more actual bands involved, and I'm thinking that might help. Maybe if they see how it goes one year, maybe it'll prompt them to, hey, let's do something like this so we can do it next year. Or I was thinking maybe a battle of the Christian bands or something like that in the future. I think it's fun and it's awesome. And the praise music is just really moving and really can be powerful. So we have our hands up in the air in church. It's just a wonderful getting together of people.
And as for the music at the show, it's expected to be mostly contemporary Christian music. It's much like what you could expect to hear on religious radio stations.
It's going to be that kind of music like Raise a Hallelujah is one. Strong by Ann Wilson. I don't know if they're going to play these exactly songs, but because I don't have their playlist, but it's just kind of music that's going to be similar. Zach Williams, I know. I mean, there's just a lot of bands out there that I'm familiar with. I can't think of their names right off the top of my head, but it's contemporary music. It's upbeat. It's easy to follow, easy to sing along. And I'm encouraging anyone to sing along with it if they'd like, because God loves to hear the music. So we want to let him hear us and let Taylorville hear us loud and proud.
Brune says she primarily looks forward to the positivity and togetherness at the show, from the religious messaging in the music itself.
There's a certain excitement and a certain feeling of seeing people together in a big group like that, praising God. And just, it's awesome to be a part of any of those concerts, the big name concerts, the little ones, whatever. It's just awesome to see the people together as a whole, and the community come together it's for one thing. And the music just is awesome too. And just, I don't know, it's a great thing, I think.
The Rhythm of Community Unity event is free and is open to the public. More information is available by calling 217-824-8181, or you may also call 217-825-8595. Kimberly Brune appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show. The Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum is marking Juneteenth with a week of special events. They're highlighted by a rare public display of a copy of the Emancipation Proclamation, one of which that is signed by President Lincoln himself. The document, which declared freedom for millions of enslaved people in Confederate states, will be available for viewing June 13th through the 26th during weekday hours, and also during a special weekend showing on Saturday, June 14th. The museum will also host several events celebrating the holiday. Dan Duster, great grandson of a civil rights pioneer Ida B. Wells, will speak on leadership and courage on Tuesday, June 17th at 6:30 p.m. Next will be The Nature of Freedom. It's a theater presentation featuring the words of historic Black leaders and will be performed at noon on June 12th, 13th, 18th, and 19th, and also at 6:30 p.m. on June 19th. The ALPLM will join Springfield's Juneteenth celebration at Comer Cox Park on Saturday the 14th, offering activities and giveaways for families. And on June 19th, the museum is offering free admission to any and all visitors. Juneteenth, which began in Texas, commemorates June 19th of 1865, when the last enslaved people in Galveston were finally freed by federal troops. That was more than 2 years after Lincoln had issued the original Emancipation Proclamation. For full event details, visit presidentlincoln.illinois.gov. Taylorville School District and their STEM courses continue to adapt, staying ahead of the changing workforce requirements. From coding to computer science classes, students are offered new and unique opportunities before deciding which focus is best for them. Suzanne Speccia is the Taylorville School District Tech Director, and she takes a moment to tell of what STEM in the classroom looks like for Taylorville High School students. Speccia believes that Taylorville is leading the way when compared to other area school districts.
Yeah, and I take just a minute to brag on our STEM and our CTE programs. You know, we are giving kids opportunities to work in science, technology, engineering, and mathematic fields, and to tie all that together. And when they do a really lot of neat things with like augmented reality and virtual reality and the headsets, where the kids are actually able to manipulate those things in the virtual space. And we just have so many tools and opportunities for students that are outside of, I think, even what other school districts in the area can offer. And we have some really phenomenal teachers who are very cutting edge with that technology and using it with students.
Speccia explains the curriculum and requirements behind these courses. Student safety is always a top priority, and that also applies to their digital safety.
We definitely have a leveled curriculum. It is based on age, and we have standards that we are meeting, and they are national standards for technology, what students should know at what ages. The other thing that we really like to take pride in is we are very serious about students' digital safety and about what access they have to programs and things on our network. And so, you know, we follow all of the SOPA compliance, which is the Student Online Privacy Protection Act. We're very sensitive with, you know, anything that would be identifiable as to student or teacher's information. And that's really important skill. And then we go above and beyond that, and we actually teach these kids starting in first and second grade about digital citizenship, how to behave online, what's safe, what's not safe, how to know if you're in a bad situation, who to tell if you do find yourself in a bad situation. And that's a really important skill for these kids to know, especially going into the world and their careers the way they are. They're going to be online. They're going to be out in that environment.
Exposure to technology from a young age might actually be where Taylorville School District excels most.
Yeah, absolutely. We are really lucky in Taylorville. The kids, our students are exposed to coding starting in like kindergarten and first grade. And I know people were like, well, how does that happen? Well, sometimes it's patterns, sometimes it's movement. A lot of them are active. It's not necessarily on-screen coding. As they get a little older, there's some great online programs that we use, like code.org, and our schools participate in the Hour of Code every year. And these kids are actually being exposed to that block coding, you know, the snap together to make the avatars do what you're asking them to. And then as they get older, we're really lucky in the high school level that they have a computer science class, an advanced placement computer science class, and they do coding. And so they're actually getting
Amazing.
exposed to actual, you know, Python and languages that they will continue to use. Because the reality of it is, even if you don't know it, you're doing coding at your job in some way, shape, or form. Almost everyone, especially as these kids move forward and things continue to progress.
Even with the improvements made to the program, Speccia still sees plenty of room to grow. Speccia tells of the direction she would like to see STEM continue to take.
I would just really like to see us continue to forge ahead in STEM and CTE education and prepare these kids for what kind of careers or degrees they may want to pursue when they leave here, and really just focusing on exposure and opportunities. What's available? What can we expose them to? What might, hit on something that they really love to do? Um, and there are just a lot of ways to use technology to do that for kids.
Find out more about the Taylorville School District at tcusd3.org. Suzanne Spetcha appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show as part of our Taylorville Good News segment, the first Thursday of every month. A local education agency will soon be able to host programs and events in space owned by Lakeland College. The college's Board of Trustees approved an agreement to lease the first floor of its Cluthe Center to the Regional Office of Education, ROE number 3. The ROEs serve schools and their students in Bond, Christian, Effingham, Fayette, and Montgomery counties. The lease begins in August and runs through June of 2028. Julie Wallerman, Regional Superintendent of Schools for the aforementioned counties, says the partnership provides a high-quality environment for learning and growth. Lakeland College previously held its technology classes in the Cluthe Center before moving to the building now known as the Effingham Technology Center. Those classes will begin this fall. This will conclude the first portion of your expanded local news, and it's brought to you by First National Bank of Taylorville.
Have you ever considered changing banks? Hi, I'm Mackenzie, Universal Banker at First National Bank in Taylorville. I talk to people all the time who say they've thought about switching banks, but they're not sure how to start. My answer, it's never been easier. At FNBT, our friendly staff will confidently answer your questions, making your decision to switch easier than ever. FNBT has been a part of this community for nearly 70 years, and we're not going anywhere. First, every time, that's more than a slogan, it's how we take care of people. Come see me, and I'll help make your switch simple. First National Bank in Taylorville, member FDIC.
More than 24 local businesses were represented at last month's Business After Hours event, hosted by the Greater Taylorville Chamber of Commerce, continuing the organization's tradition of supporting business growth through community engagement. The event, held at the Pillars Event Center and co-hosted by Angelo's family of businesses, provided a relaxed setting for members to network and explore potential partnerships. The Pillars offered a welcoming atmosphere while guests sampled new menu items catered by Angelo's Pizza of Taylorville. Attendees were given a first look at Angelo's expanded menu, reflecting the company's ongoing focus on quality and culinary innovation. In addition to food and conversation, the evening featured a gift-away drawing. Winners Teresa Paul, Linda Osborne, Bob Harlow, Joe Hauser, and Lori Simmons received Angelo's gift cards and branded apparel. Chamber officials emphasized the importance of the monthly Business After Hours events as a platform for connection and collaboration among local professionals. The Greater Taylorville Chamber of Commerce plans to continue offering these events to strengthen ties within the local business community. For more information about Chamber membership and upcoming events, visit www.taylorvillechamber.com or email them at chamber@taylorvillechamber.com. The only former meteorologist in Congress wants to ensure the future of the National Weather Service through new legislation. Introduced in a bipartisan manner and spearheaded by the Illinois Democratic lawmaker named Eric Sorensen, the Weather Workforce Improvement Act is three-pronged. Under the bill, it is claimed that it will help save lives, protect communities, and provide weather experts with additional protections. However, Sorensen says that the act is more than just that. Under the bill, National Weather Service meteorologists would be designated as public safety officials, which would limit layoffs in the future. As of the last count, the National Weather Service employs over 4,000 staff members in 122 weather forecast offices across the country. The Illinois Farm Bureau continues to support nutrient stewardship and those grants to local county farm bureaus. A number of field days are planned throughout the state this summer, says IFB's Bina Pegg. The grant program was created in 2015. More info is at ilfb.org/field days. Moving now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and are brought to you by Sutton Memorial Home. This is Chad Sparks.
When a loved one passes, grieving family members and friends often are confronted with dozens of decisions about the funeral arrangements. Sutton Memorial Homes in Taylorville and Nokomis have been helping families in the area for over 55 years with these often difficult decisions. They offer pre-planning, traditional funerals, and cremation. Austin and the staff at Sutton Memorial Homes' goal is to make your family's transition easier in their time of need. Sutton Memorial Homes, where caring is what they do best.
96-year-old Charles Robert Kindred of Edinburgh died on June 10th. Graveside service will be June 13th at 10 a.m. at Edinburgh Cemetery in Edinburgh. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. 88-year-old Patrick or Pat Kane of Rochester died June 7th. A celebration of life will be on June 13th at 10 a.m. at Wilson Park Funeral Home in Rochester. A private interment will be at Oak Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Wilson Park Funeral Home in Rochester. "72-year-old Larry or Rock Upton of Edinburgh died on June 7th. Memorial visitation is June 18th from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Cremation rights have been accorded, and funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. And 68-year-old Robert Gerald Schultz of Awanaco died on June 8th. Visitation is today, June 12th, from 5 until 7 p.m. at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Graveside service will be on June 13th at 9 a.m. at Awanaco Cemetery in Awanaco. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Get details on these and other local news stories at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com, or you can continue to hear them every hour on WTIM. WTIM is your only local news radio.
Kimmer Village, Inc. is hiring for our future Assumption Community Child Care Center. This is Shawla Nagel, Executive Director for Kimmer Village, Inc.
This is Amanda McKay, Director of Human Resources. If you're looking for a career with full benefits, paid meals, qualify for student loan forgiveness, we support continuing education, and if you want to make a difference in a child's life, apply at kimmervillage.org and click Join Our Team.
St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Over the years, it has meant the Gas House Gang, Stan the Man, Lou Brock, Bob Gibson, the Wizard, Big Mac, Yachty, Waino, and Pujols. All those names, and they provided so many memories. St. Louis Cardinals baseball, most importantly, has meant championship baseball. We'll be describing every play right here on the Cardinals Radio Network, powered by Gray Bar.